Beeman might use these like you. You know what I'm saying?
Those are nice. Are those Ray-Bans?
They are.
I can tell.
They are, man.
I can tell.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
that's good. Cole McCurry.
Not much, man.
What's happening?
Lots changed since I last saw you. Well, not since I last saw you. Since I last saw you at Jermaine Ford.
Yeah.
The amazing Jermaine Ford that I quit.
Yep.
So yeah, lots been going on. I got a new job. I started my own nonprofit company that raises money for mental health awareness for all age groups.
Hell yeah.
And we raised $4,000, almost $4,000 last Sunday.
Amazing.
Which is 50 people showing up.
Amazing, brother.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, man. I was gonna say I'd love to hear kind of what you're all about, what you're into, what you're up to. Obviously, this seems like your most current venture. Like this is where it seems like a lot of your focus is at. But yeah, what is the day to day? What's the mission like right now, man? Tell me more about the nonprofit.
The mission is to solve mental health problems for people. And you can't solve mental health problems like with a pill, but solving them with education. I'm not a doctor, so I can't write prescriptions. I didn't go to school for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like it. But what I can do is I can help raise awareness. And I can help people realize that they're not alone and that there's resources for them. So that's kind of my goal with the company.
Beautiful, man. I love it. It's got to feel so fulfilling to be doing something that, is in your heart, something that obviously, is something that I imagine you had to go through your own. This is a result potentially of some things that you went through. I mean, we haven't talked a whole lot yet, really in general. I'd love to get more into that. First, real quick, I just want to say this serendipitous backstory of how this podcast occurred.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Jermaine Ford, former colleagues, as we say. I'm still employed there with the insurance agency, and I do get to enjoy the flexibility of working from home a little bit. And so I think it was a couple Fridays ago maybe. I stroll usually around kind of this very park. I sit on that bench right over there, and I was just walking on the drag back to my place, and then I look up. We both kind of double take, and you're like, we hadn't talked a lot at Ford.
We said hi.
Right, we said hi. Yeah, we were acquaintances, but
I knew you rapped.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, man. So yeah, we knew a little.
I knew you as White Boy Kevin.
There we go. Still white. But yeah, and then you was at it had been some time, right?
Yeah,
almost a year now, and it was I know you. I know you, and it's just oh yeah, what's up, man? And so that right there, when we just talked over there the other day, was the most we'd ever talked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
still
still
the
really
most we ever talked, because I don't put up a wall at work, but I keep my guard up, because you got to be really careful what you say and when you say it, because you never know who's talking to who. And especially at work, I just keep a little bit of a guard up.
Yep.
Just because I don't want to get in trouble at work.
Yeah.
And to be fair with you, that didn't work. I got in trouble at work all the time.
Yeah.
And it's because I don't know why, but
it's crazy you say that, man. I connect with that 100%. In fact, I am definitely,
because Jermaine Ford isn't strict or anything. It's a great company.
Yeah.
And I don't have a negative thing to say about them other tthan my boss, but that's another story for another day. I'm not going to talk about my boss on here.
There you go. Wise.
But
Wise.
What was so confusing to me is they wanted us to be ourselves and succeed, but they had all these rules that kind of keep you from being yourself just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And I think that when you get as big as Jermaine Ford, you kind of have to have rules in place like that so that bad things don't happen, I guess. But I just work better when I can be myself.
Yeah,
and
man.
So that's kind of why I started my own company. That's kind of why I started working for this new company I'm working for. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And I hear you 100% on that. And yeah, to sort of tie a bow on that, we talked, and I got to know you for real in just that brief little moment a little bit more and what you're about and whatnot. And I mentioned my podcast, and you're like, hey man, let's do it. And I was just like, yeah, let's go. And so here we are. And so Yeah, man, I would love to hear more about wherever you want to start with it, whether you want to start at the nonprofit and kind of just work backwards, or if you want to go back to maybe the seeds of where this all sort of came from. That's
let's go
however
back to
it
the
flows.
seeds.
Yeah, sure.
I won't go back too far, but I'll go back to when I was conscious. I was 5 years old. I was a very angry, confused, lost kid, in my opinion. I had a lot of anger, so sports was a great outlet for me.
Yeah.
Football, I handed out many concussions in my day. And I'm not tooting my own horn. You can ask people that played with me; they had concussions from me. And it's not because I was mad at them. Concussion Cole.
Cole McCurry, by the way. A brief pause just to say that I love the flow of your name, Cole McCurry.
Coleman McCurry.
What is it?
Coleman McCurry.
Coleman McCurry.
Coleman Edward McCurry.
I love, as a wordsmith, I appreciate names that flow. It also kind of made me think of, like, you say football, Colt McCoy, Cole McCurry. And then I think, like, Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Cole McCurry, Paul McCartney. These aren't bad people to be synonymous with. But anyway, Concussion Cole, you were out there making hits.
Yeah, making hits, hitting baseballs, picking up babes. Yep. I didn't even know how to pick up babes. They just picked me up, apparently.
There you go. Sports will do that,
I don't know
right?
what I do, but my dad knows how to talk to women, so that he might have passed that down to me, maybe.
There we go. You just picked
it
up.
I was a confused kid, and the reason I was confused was because I had a mental illness, and back then in my age, when I was 5, which was 1999, mental health awareness wasn't a thing. It didn't really become a thing until, I want to say, the mid-2010s. It didn't really become a passion for, not that it's not a passion for people back in the day, because this has been around for, I'm going to guess, for many, many years.
Yeah.
It's just changed. The methods that we approach it has changed now, because we're more aware and we're studying things more now. So really my goal is to help raise awareness for that. And so I'm a confused kid. I have ADHD. I'm bipolar. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to turn to. I don't know who to talk to about this, because they're not going to understand. And, my parents were, they had enough money in the bank to make sure we were taken care of, but we weren't rich by any means. They did well for themselves, but the fact that I wasn't going to see a therapist a couple times a week tells you enough that I wasn't getting the help I needed. But how would my parents know? I don't blame my parents for that. They don't know. Yeah. They don't know what's going on. They thought I had ADHD, so they gave me a pill for ADHD, and they didn't know that was counterproductive.
Wow. Yeah. So. Man. And that's it's even more powerful to hear about how early that began for you. I just kind of think my wife's a school teacher, teaches middle school, and she's seeing more than ever kind of just sort of, I guess, maybe an insight into potential mental illness or problems with kind of younger kids and middle schoolers. And then I think, like, oh man, that's young. But then you talk about something that this is just like, this is before even adolescence for you. Like, this is your early, formative years.
For some reason, I was conscious at a really young age.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know what that attributes to.
Yeah.
But I remember things like, and I baffle my family when I bring up a story and they're like, "How do you remember that?" So yeah, I remember things, but there's a lot of things I don't remember, and that's because of the bipolar. They're called manic blackouts.
Okay.
When I don't take care of myself, don't get enough sleep, don't take my medicine, don't exercise regularly, don't go to church. Church is big for me.
Wow. Yeah.
It hurts my mental health awareness. So think of it like a gas tank.
Okay.
Filling up a gas tank. So say I do all the things. I'm filling up my gas tank, right? But if I let my gas tank get to empty, it's called a manic episode. And that's when you have blackouts and you don't understand what you're doing, what you're saying. You don't remember everything. It's like being blacked out on alcohol.
Wow.
That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. And how often would that occur?
Depends how often I didn't take care of myself, brother.
Okay. Yeah.
It's at different age ranges. I took care of myself less, and I took care of myself more. Till I was 18. I didn't have an episode till I was 22 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I've been bipolar the whole time, but until I was on my own officially, I had to learn that I was bipolar the hard way.
Wow. Yeah, man, and this is, this is all new stuff to me personally. You know, it's like I think
it's new for a lot of people, man. You'd be amazed how many people out there even have a mental illness and have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, man.
They have these feelings and these thoughts, whether they're negative, positive, neutral. They have these feelings, but what they don't understand is what is the core of this problem and this feeling. And that's where doctors come in.
Gotcha.
So I strongly recommend anyone that is feeling some type of way or is feeling like really down, or even if you're feeling really up. There's many times where I feel really up, and that's sometimes my worst. And so it's really hard to navigate through those waters.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, to talk to people out there who might be dealing with something similar and may just know that something's wrong, but aren't quite sure. I'm interested what you might even say to, let's say, like your past self, where you are today.
Yeah.
What would you tell, like, if you think about your lowest points? I don't know if that would be a specific age range or whatever, but kind of pick a you from the past and like what are some things you would encourage yourself with?
I can pick every age of me and know what to say to that person.
Dang.
You know what it is? Love yourself.
Ooh, huge. I love that.
Love yourself. You cannot love someone properly until you figure out how to love yourself first.
That's about one of the most powerful, I think, self-reinforcing messages you can have. And in fact, that is one that I say sometimes, as someone, I don't have anything diagnosed like that, but there are times where I go through my own anxiety, and a lot of it is just, it's not like I've been diagnosed with any form of anxiety. It's just general
but it's all correlated.
Yeah.
It all correlates.
Yeah.
Whether you have anxiety, bipolar, it doesn't matter what you have. You could have nothing. Doctors could tell you you're healthy as an ox, but I bet if you love yourself, then you will feel healthy as an ox.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And I feel like just thinking of yourself as like your own best friend in a way, or something, like almost like when you think about loving yourself, I feel like you almost have to step aside from yourself and talk to yourself and say, like, look, man, you're doing great. Just because like this isn't working out, like you're on the right track and you're doing your best. What I like to do is, as like kind of a perfectionist, I would say maybe that can be one of my things I deal with, is like, things might be going well for me on paper in general or whatever, but then I'll create my own problems. I'll feel like I'm not doing enough, and I need to step aside from myself and be like, just like look at how far you've come. Like you're like, just like love yourself. And I do say that occasionally. So that's super powerful, bro.
But what's out there that people don't understand is there are actions you can take to love yourself. And they might not be genuine at first, but they eventually will be. You can't force yourself to love yourself, but you can try.
Absolutely.
And the way that I do it personally is every time I see a mirror, I look in the mirror and I say, I love you.
Wow.
And I say it 3 times. And the reason I say it 3 times is because that when I say it 3 times, it means that I'm trying really hard to love myself.
Love that.
And as long as I tell myself I love myself 3 times, I know that I'm trying.
Love that, man.
So that's what I do.
That's huge.
And you might not believe it the first time you say it. You might not believe it the 100th time you said it. But I'll tell you what, you'll believe it the 1,000th time you said it.
Yeah, man. You're retraining the mental.
Yeah.
The pathways. You're creating a whole new psychology.
You can create your own. You can create your own future if you want. It's just you gotta want it.
Yeah, man.
You gotta want you want that job, go get it.
Yeah.
You want to feel better, love yourself. You want to make money, go get that job. Go start that business you've been thinking about. do what you want to do that makes you happy. If you find happiness in life, the rest of the pieces will just fall in place, man.
Get out of your own
and
way.
I'm not saying I got it all figured out, because I tell you what, I don't even have a 10% of it figured out, man. But I tell you what I do. I try.
There it is. Day by day, man.
Day by day.
It's all we can do. Well, yeah, man, I jotted down a couple things. I'm sure you've kind of hit on some of this stuff already. Let's see what we got here. So I thought this was kind of cool when you told me that the reason that that you've got to be out of here in about 45 minutes or so is that you were invited to a function related to mental health awareness.
Yeah.
And notably, some figures will be in the house this morning. We've got Tim Tebow. Urban Meyer?
Tim Tebow will be there.
Potentially?
Tim Tebow will be at my church on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I don't know for sure if he's going to be there, but for sure Urban Meyer's going to be there.
Yeah. What's this all about? What's this opportunity?
Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow are a part of a group. It's called Life Surge, and it's a Christian group. So hold on, don't turn off the podcast yet. It's a Christian group that just helps people, just helps guide people to where they want to be. Mm-hmm. They're not forcing you to be Christians, because, not everyone that joins the group is a Christian, but I tell you what, they're going to try their best to make sure that you love yourself, and that you, and the best way that they know how to do that is by loving Jesus. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of their message. So don't turn off the podcast. We won't talk about it too much, but, all I'm saying is their goal is really to help people, and my goal in my nonprofit is people helping people. It's called PHP Consulting, People Helping People Consulting.
Beautiful, right on.
So I raised $4,000. I think someone caught wind of it, and they invited me. Gary Allen is who invited me. Okay. He is a military guy, and he happened to stumble into O'Brien's, and he happened to see that I was running the event. Yep. Then he happened to invite me.
One thing leading to another.
Yeah.
Man, that's faith right there, man. Or that's fate, I should say, and faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like when you're out there, doing what you believe in, and you're putting yourself out there, it's like one thing leads to another. The people, it attracts the people that it needs to into your life. It attracts the new opportunities that you need to.
If you do good things in life, good things will follow.
Yeah. And
I know that sounds so simple, but next time you see a piece of garbage on the street, just pick it up. You never know who's watching. There was one time where I got invited to a baseball tryout just because of the way I spoke to my coach. Someone overheard me speaking to my coach, and he said, I knew, and when I made the team, he said, I knew you were coachable when I heard the way you spoke to your coach. You just never know who's listening, who's paying attention, so I try to live my life like it's a movie, like someone's watching all the time.
I love that, man.
You make your own movie too. You
can
be the own producer, you can be the actor, you can be everything. Just pretend it's your movie, bro.
Write your story.
Write your story.
Leave your legacy.
Leave
your mark. The type of stuff that you're that you're about and that you're living by right now. This might be the foundation of what helps someone decades and decades into the future. Like you never know how powerful something could become or how powerful your impact could be.
And here's the thing about helping people. I will warn people if they do have interest in helping people. Make sure you do it the right way, because if you do, and what I mean when I say do it the right way, don't do it for you, do it for others. Mm-hmm. If you go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to get this, get that out of it, it's not going to be for the right reasons. You got to do it for the right reasons.
You got to serve.
You're there to serve.
Absolutely.
You're not there to gain anything. Now, have I gained things from doing good things? I'm not going to deny that. But not every time.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things I've done that are good that have gone unnoticed, but there's plenty of bad things I've done in my lifetime. It's just about finding your happiness.
That's huge. And a lot of the good things I feel like that come into our lives when we feel like we are living right, are just a byproduct of serving and putting others or something else up, before ourselves. It's so easy in today's culture to be, self-absorbed, and that can be me sometimes too. It's like, I don't know, I feel like the me of a while ago would have been like, oh man, I can't wait for this podcast because I want to grow my podcast and get more eyeballs on it and get more views and whatnot. But you know what? That's not how it goes. This is your floor today.
You got
this is your platform.
Well,
today.
You have to love what you're doing, and
Absolutely.
I'm sure you do. But the reason I say that is because if you don't love what you're doing and you're just doing it for the money or for attention or for an outside purpose other than to just help people, it's not. You're gonna feel like you're missing something, and what you're missing is a purpose. You're missing a purpose.
Empty.
If someone came up to you and asked you what's your purpose, would you have an answer? I bet you 99% of people wouldn't.
Wow.
I'm gonna guess that. And when
That's
you
big.
ask me what's your purpose, I know right away. And the only reason I do know that is because it took me a long time in this life to figure that out.
Let's hear it.
My purpose is to help others. That's
Beautiful.
it.
Beautiful. And I love the fact that your purpose is broad enough to where that can serve as such a strong North Star to anything that you're doing.
Everyone's welcome in my purpose, brother.
Beautiful, man.
Everyone's welcome, whether they're gay, straight, bi, believe in this kind of politics, believe in that. They think this person should be president. I don't think they should be president. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're a good person, I want to be your friend. And I want to help you in whatever way I can. And I don't need anything in return. Just your friendship. That's it.
It's beautiful, man. Yeah, that's what the world needs more of.
They need more Kevins. Before we go further, I will say Kevin, if you were listening to this podcast for that stuff, is the nicest guy in the world. He will go out of your way to say hi to you every single day at work. And he might not notice that I noticed, but I'm letting him know right now that everyone knows that he is a nice guy at work.
Hey, appreciate that, brother. That means a lot, and it's been cool to get to know you a little bit, and
you impact lives with your insurance, brother.
Hey, yeah, believe it or not,
I know insurance can be boring. I sold insurance at one time. I sold a lot of things.
Yeah, man.
But I wasn't as good at it as Kevin, I bet. But I'm telling you this: if you hate your job or you hate something or just love yourself, and then figure out the rest later.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna figure it. Like if you're 23 years old and you're like, I hate my job, I hate my life. Like, dude, you are so young. I know I'm only 31, but listen to me. You do not need to have anything figured out in your 20s, let alone your 30s. Like, I have hardly anything figured out. All I got figured out is my purpose.
It's beautiful, man.
And I love myself, and like I said, I've done plenty of wrong things in this lifetime, but I'm trying my best to make up for them.
I love it, man. And yeah, you're figuring that out at a relatively young age. That's nice to know that so
What's
early.
young? What's old?
You got so much of your. Yeah, that's true. You got so much of your life ahead of you, most likely, man. And that's that's super cool to hear. And I also think it's interesting how, when you talk about people that may not have things figured out, or they may be unsure about what is their purpose or where their life's going. I have some of these conversations with myself as I try to figure it out.
Everybody does.
But it's interesting to think that some of our lowest points are in a way just mandatory to end up being where we need to go. Just think about what you've gone through that you wouldn't be this version of yourself today that I have to imagine you are pretty proud of, and pretty proud of the where you've come from. So it's I guess the point is to just remind people out there that are going through something look, this actually might just be the foundation for what is going to make you help you find your calling, your purpose. I had some what I like to call the lost years. I had a period of time in the past where I was lost for a number of years, just in a lot of different ways.
We all have that, brother.
And that is what that is what sort of, I think, at some point supercharged my desire to grow and improve. And personal growth is an idea that I really started tapping into probably about, I would say like 7 or 8 years ago. And I could tell immediately the first time I talked to you deeply down the street over here that like you are on that wave right now, and you are in a season of some serious personal growth. I mean, you're out in the front yard boxing.
Yeah,
you're grounding. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so like you talked about a lot of your physical a lot of your physical improvements. Man, I want to hear about that side of things and how you feel like it's all connected, how the physical has helped you with mental and everything.
I don't know. I'm not some skinny little guy for any means.
Always been an athlete, though, in some capacity.
I've always been an athlete, but I will tell you this. If something goes down, whatever it is, I want to make sure I'm ready to protect people.
Absolutely.
And the reason for that is not only does working out help you mentally, but it helps you physically. It helps you control anger. I get all my anger out on a boxing bag. It don't punch back. It does not punch back. Neither does the air when I punch it.
Not as satisfying, probably.
Not as satisfying, but I tell you what, I'm less angry.
Beautiful.
And that's my goal, really, with working out, is to be less angry.
I love that.
Because I have a lot of anger, unfortunately, from just life.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I can't think of a healthier way to manage that. You know what I mean? Than to be active.
Yeah, I've taken 28 boxing classes, and I've done jiu-jitsu for about 4 months now.
You might need to give me a class, a course or a
I
class.
can show you enough to be
I don't want to be the bag, but
I can show you enough to be dangerous.
I could use a little bit of that, man.
I got you,
I need
bro.
a little more self-confidence to. My thing is that the level to which I feel like I can protect myself is probably the level to which I avoid confrontation. I've always been, because I have never really focused on. I've gotten my.
I will say, from one nice guy to another.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games until a loved one is in trouble.
Absolutely.
Then
all the motivation
shit goes down.
Yeah. Wow.
Shit goes down.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, in this world, you got to be prepared for that. It's because I bet you there's a 0% chance that you don't run into conflict. And obviously, there's ways to de-escalate them, but some conflicts can't be de-escalated. Unfortunately. Some people just want to fight you or want to hurt you or want to hurt a loved one of yours. Yeah. And you need to be the protector of that. As a man, you have to be ready for that, in my opinion.
Right. 100%, man. Beautifully said. So yeah, man, as we've talked a bit about your story and your purpose and things that are kind of your focus and your mission right now. Take me back to whether or not there was a moment when you realized that starting PHP and this kind of current wave that you're on, was there a moment, or was it sort of a gradual realization that, hey, this is what's next for me?
Yeah, there was a moment. We're going to get a little deep here.
Hey, people are watching this far. They're here for the depths, man. They're deep into the podcast already.
A psych ward will change your life. I've been there. And unfortunately, that's where I need to go when I am not well. And it's not a bad place. They're there to help you. You know, it's not like what everyone thinks, like, oh my God, he's going to the loony bin. It's more of a place for healing, like a hospital. You go to the hospital to feel better, right? Well, I go to the hospital, it's just a different wing.
Well put.
It's a wing for my mentals.
Got you.
It's a mental wing.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like the word psych ward. I like mental wing.
Hey man, reframes.
Because they give you your wings back.
Oh wow, I like that.
You're lost and you don't have your wings anymore, so they help you get your wings back. And I said in the hospital, this last hospital visit, I said, this will be the last time I come here. Or it'll be the last time that I do something that'll put me here. And so I'm just trying to spread good, man, and I'm hoping that makes it so I don't have to go to the hospital again. So that's what I get out of it, I guess. Get out of helping people is mental clarity.
That's awesome, man.
It's hard to comment to that.
It is. That deserves some space to marinate.
It's okay. You can marinate all you want, brother. We can sit here in silence. It doesn't matter to me.
10-minute meditation.
10-minute meditation.
To end the podcast.
I do meditate for a couple minutes every morning as well.
I like
And
that.
meditation's anything.
A couple minutes more than most do.
Meditation can be anything. You could be listening to music with your eyes closed. That's meditating. Mm-hmm. You don't have to sit there in a Buddha pose and meditate and not have any noise and have racing a million thoughts. Mm-hmm. But if you're meditating and you have a bunch of racing thoughts, that's something you need to think about. Why are you having those racing thoughts? Mm-hmm. What's going on in your life that's making your thoughts race?
And to remind yourself that you are caring for yourself by taking a few minutes out to allow your mind to do what it's going to do, and to not necessarily judge those thoughts. Just see them as like, look, these are just thoughts. They don't necessarily define me. They might be hints as to areas of my life that I'd like to put more attention on, but it can be meditation, something I do as well. And kind of like you're saying, it evolves over time, and it may only be 5 minutes in the morning, but I definitely like to start my day with
like I said, I got ADHD, so 3 minutes is enough time for me to sit still. But yeah, you gotta, to climb the mountain of success. I heard this one time.
I'm so hot.
And I forget.
So I'm gonna take my hoodie off.
You're
you
good.
Can continue though.
I heard this quote one time, and it was, to climb the mountain of success, you must start at the bottom. And it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, anything. You have to start at the bottom to find real success. Because someone could give me millions of dollars, but if I'm not climbing the mountain myself, that millions of dollars is going to run out quick.
100%.
Now, if anyone's out there that wants to give me $1 million, I promise you I'll show you a business plan, give you a return on investment, give you a percentage.
Yeah, we can talk. We can figure it out.
We can talk.
Yeah. For sure. And obviously money is one of those things that that follows, and ideally eventually comes to you.
Money you got to be careful
it's a tool.
with, though.
It's a tool. It's not the
end all. Yeah.
It's
a tool. It's not the end all.
If you are reinvesting what you're earning back into what's most important to you, to your purpose.
Exactly.
In some way.
To your purpose.
Like, for example, you raised a lot. You raised a nice chunk of change at the last fundraiser, and that's super cool. And I'd just be interested to know, if those earnings fund what goes into the upcoming fundraisers, or how does this?
So 100% of it. So the way it works is 100% of it goes towards a charitable organization, and the reason I say 100% of it is because I don't touch the money ever. All I do is point you in the direction of a website that you can donate to if you'd like. And then if you do donate, you show me that you donated, and you get prizes, essentially.
Yeah.
You get food, you get some drinks, you get some raffle tickets for prizes that I have that people donated.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed how many people that came out of the woodwork that knew I was doing the fundraiser and was like, here you go. Just gave me stuff. And they were like, I don't want any recognition, just here you go.
Amazing.
So if anyone's out there and they think, they're alone, or just reach out to someone. If no one's reaching out to you, that means that you need to get people in your life that do reach out to you. Go say hi to someone. Next time you're walking, ask someone how their day's going, and don't just ask them and let them say good and then walk away. When they say good, say, why is it good? Figure out why they're having a good day.
That'll catch someone off guard. Lead to probably an amazing conversation.
Just like we had. This is why this podcast is happening.
Because we said what up. That is
what
wild.
Up.
That is wild, man.
Just say what up to people, bro.
And before I forget, a couple of things. The first thing I want you to do is be able to tell people exactly where they can go to donate, and kind of specifically what they're donating to. You've talked about it a bit, but let's lead the people to what they can do.
Yeah, so you can donate to Mental Health America of Ohio.
And I'll link everything.
Mental Health America of Ohio. And what they do is they help create resources for people with mental illnesses in Ohio. And I did 30 plus hours of research on this company. So, and their name kept popping up. So they not only called me, but they sent me a thank you card in the mail. So that's how I know I picked the right place. So
love it, man. I'll definitely link that up so that people can find that. I know we probably have 15, 20 minutes left at most, or whenever you're comfortable. You got some important things to do this morning. But yeah, just to kind of keep the conversation going about loneliness. That's something I want to bring up because for me, I go through loneliness, and that's something where that might surprise some people, especially.
Yeah, because you're a talkative guy, but I tell you what, the ones with the biggest smiles are sometimes the ones with the worst mental health. Because they're putting on a mask for people because they don't want people to know. And those are dangerous people, because the people that don't let people know when they're sad or lonely or anything, those are the people that I'm scaredest for. Those are the people that end up, causing harm, whether it's to themselves or to others. They cause harm, and they cause harm because they're not talking to anyone. You have to get that bad energy out of your system. When you're feeling some type of way deep down, get it out. Get that bad energy out of your body. The more you talk about it, don't talk about it to everyone, but talk about it to people you can trust. The more you talk about it, the more that bad energy exits your body, and good energy subsides in it instead. So.
And I like what you said earlier. The way I relate to it is bringing your walls down, and also making yourself known. Every morning, the wife and I, who attend the same church you do, we found out Rock City.
We've been the same church.
Wife and I have been going to Rock City since before we were even dating, really, back when it was just at the Lennox over here.
Yeah, the Lennox.
Chad was doing it in the movie theater.
Lennox.
It was like
I
2017 maybe when we first went.
Yeah, when it was the Lennox times, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I like big churches. I like lots of people I can talk to, lots of people I can relate to, different groups. I like all different types of people.
Absolutely, man. And it's an awesome church, and honestly, I need to be going more often. We don't go every Sunday. But we do read a little kind of devotional thing every morning. Actually, it's a great book. I think it's by Jenny Allen, and it's called Stop the Spiral. And every day it's like 100 days. Every day is just like a quick little read about some way that you can kind of rewire a negative thought pattern or aspect of your life and sort of flip it into how you can sort of reframe it and look to God. And this section we just finished up talking.
Or look to a higher power of your choosing.
Sure.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't have to be, one, just God in general, or some.
Your God.
Your God. That's all he's saying.
And it is something that the section we just finished up was really big on like opening up and then bringing your walls down, and it's like you have to make yourself known, and I'm not saying by any means that I'm going through anything serious like that. I don't want people. My lines are gonna blow. Kevin, you okay?
Are you okay?
It's like you know what I mean. These are just usually
This is just your guys' way of bonding.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
I get that.
And it just talks about how, or I guess it just reminds me that man, we can't neglect the relationships that we have out there. There's a lot of family and friends that I feel like I don't reach out to enough personally because I don't know, for whatever reason, I sometimes might feel like I'm not enough. It's so silly. But we talked about this being enough thing. I think if I'm going to reach out to someone, I want to I need to first feel better about myself. Why would someone want to be friends with me? We don't have, we'll let you riff on this, but we don't have that much in common anymore, especially if they're old friendships, right? And it's just these little things that we tell ourselves that keep us from taking the action that ultimately what sounds like this big scary thing, like making a phone call to a friend because it's not normal, it's not part of the routine, is so scary. But then the level of relief and the level of fulfillment that you would feel from adding up those type of outreaches and interactions, how much it can help your life, it's just huge. And I'd love to hear how that connects for you, man.
Yeah, bro. I gotta tell you,
clearly.
I have 395 people in my contacts, and I talk to almost every one of them.
Wow.
And the reason I do that is because when I'm bored
Wow.
or feeling lonely, I'll call someone.
Wow.
And when they say, "Why are you calling?" or whatever, I just say, "Checking in." And no one
Huge.
questions that.
Huge.
No one questions that. You know why they don't question it? Because I'm always checking in with my boys
Wow.
and my girls.
Love that, bro.
I'm always checking in on them. And it's a lot. It takes a lot of energy. But I tell you what, next time you're bored, call someone you haven't talked to in a while. See how they're doing. Just say, "Hey, I'm just checking in on you. How are you?" And then let them talk and listen. And like listen to the words that they actually say. Don't just listen to respond. Listen to listen. Because that's what people need. People don't need you to fix their problems. They need to fix their problems themselves. They just need someone to listen so that they can fix their problems themselves.
That's huge, bro. You're leading right into exactly what I was already thinking, and that is that I think it might have been my buddy Sean who I do the What's Current podcast with, one of my best friends, and he had sent something to me, like something on Instagram maybe a couple months ago about, people and someone like myself, like I tend to try to be a fixer, and let's say like in my relationship,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I want to try to fix, but there is I think one of the questions that this thing said you need to ask is, or need to figure out is, does the person need helped, hugged, or heard? And so helped, I always want to help, but you know what? Sometimes the person might only just need to be heard.
Triple H threat. That's what we'll call it.
Triple H threat, baby. And so
maybe that'll be your rap name one day.
That's not bad. We'll play around with that for sure, or just at least a song. You know what I mean? But hearing someone, man, and like sometimes I realize that's all I need. I just want to be heard. I at the end of the day have to fix my own stuff, but like I need to be heard. And so when I
started talking about the psych ward and you were like speechless a little bit.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's okay to be speechless when someone says something to you. You don't always have to respond. Like, you apologize for being speechless, but I wish you wouldn't have, just because you don't have to apologize for anything, brother, especially when you're just listening to someone.
Amen to that.
I should be thanking you. You shouldn't be apologizing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that reframe. That's good. That's good to realize for sure.
Be careful who you say sorry to and why you say it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that their reflex is to say sorry. And they don't even know what they're sorry for.
That's interesting.
Like, I have a friend, she just got out of a really bad relationship. I won't name any names, but she's got out of a really bad relationship, and it was an abusive relationship, physically and mentally. He stole money from her, too, so she's been through the ringer, and she found this new guy that they're kind of dating already, and I'll tell you what, I hear her say sorry to this new guy, and I turned to her one time and I said, "What are you sorry for?" Because she said sorry for like the 5th time, and it bothered me so much that I had to say something. I said, "What are you sorry for?" She goes, "Nothing, it's just a reflex, I'm sorry." I said, "You did it again." She goes, I know. I said, "When you say sorry, just say, 'Oh, I didn't mean that.' Or say, 'Sorry, I didn't mean that.'"
Practice it in the mirror.
Practice it in the mirror. Practice it on people. Practice it on people you know that'll know what you're trying to do. And then eventually, when you say, "Sorry, I didn't mean that," you'll get to "Sorry, I didn't. Sorry." Then the sorry goes away.
That's nothing. Wow.
Yeah. And then you no longer say it. Training your brain.
Man. McDonald's over here, just nuggets on nuggets. Nuggets on nuggets over here, man.
Nuggets of knowledge.
Cole McNuggets.
Cole McNuggets.
But,
Cole McFlurry.
Cole McFlurry. Ooh, I like that, bro. So, we've dove deep. We've dived. We have
dived up, dodged.
The past tense of that word, but just to kind of, bring it back uphill for this final 5-10 minutes, whatever. Something that I've been passionate over time is like both the benefits and the perils of like routines, but to not go super deep into it, just to know in general, like What do you think about, do you keep routine in your life, order, structure? What are some things that are like some pillars, whether that's on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, however you want to run with that?
I'll tell you what, if you aren't waking up early, you are not living life, my friend. Mm-hmm. If you get up early, like for instance, I get up at 5:30. I got up at 4:30 today.
I've seen your texts come through around that time.
I got up at 4:30 today.
Love it.
And I tell you what, I'm just so excited for life right now. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is or what I'm doing. I'm just excited.
Wow.
And the reason I'm excited is because I wake up early, I work out, I get my workout on, and then my metabolism and my energy is up there. Mm-hmm. It's up there. And what working out does before you actually get your day really started, so from 4:30 to like 7, I don't start my day. That's my me time. That's my time to work on me, to grow. Mm-hmm. And I'm growing while people are sleeping, bro.
100%.
And while I'm growing, they're sleeping, I'm growing a little faster than them. And there's nothing wrong with getting a competitive advantage over people. Doesn't mean I want to be better than everyone. I just want to be better than my previous self.
You're playing against yourself. You're racing against yourself.
If you play against yourself and you win, that is called success, my friends.
There we go. Incremental gains over time. And, you know, I'm on a similar wave where I definitely dedicate sometimes a little too much time to myself in the mornings. It's a thing where, like, I'll wake up at 6 a.m. and I won't even be out the door till work till like 9:30 because I like my 3.5 hours.
Hey, that's your me time, bro.
But, you know, I also like to think of it as like, on one hand, it could be looked at as selfish when we do things like spend time on working on ourselves. But another way I like to look at it is like, look, man, I'm just filling up my cup, so I've got more to pour out for others.
Exactly. There's nothing selfish about taking care of yourself. And if someone calls you selfish for taking care of yourself, that's someone you don't want to be around.
Absolutely. How are you going to serve others if you haven't?
If you aren't serving yourself, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else? You can go back to everything that we've talked about. You can go back to loving yourself. Literally, it can go back to loving yourself. Whether that be raising money for people, whether that be working out, whether that be loving your wife, whether that be loving your church. It doesn't matter. If you don't love yourself, how can you spread love?
It's huge, man. Well, I know we only have a few minutes here. Dimes on dimes, like I said. Got a piggy bank over here. But how's Apple Valley, bro? Happy belated birthday.
Dope.
Happy belated birthday, man.
Yeah,
Let's hear about it.
To me.
Apple Valley sounds sweet. I don't think I've been out there, but like...
You know, it's a little oasis. A lot of people haven't heard of it that are in Columbus. And the reason is because we want to keep it a secret.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
It's a little slice of
We'll
heaven.
bleep that out. We're going to say, how was beep? So they don't know where to go.
They can know. They can know. It's okay. If you listen to this podcast, I'm giving you secrets.
Exactly. You're in an exclusive camp.
You're in an exclusive gang. But there's this place called Apple Valley, and there's this special place called King Beach. Ooh. And the reason this place is special to me is because my grandparents live at the top of the hill of King Beach.
Let's go.
And King Beach is a beach that I've been going to since I can remember. My grandparents bought the house 1972, and in 2012 a tree fell through it and they got a brand new house.
Wow.
Shout out Westfield Insurance.
Westfield. Formerly not carried by Germain Insurance, but I'm cool with Westfield. I've written Westfield before, so yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you Westfield for providing a new home for us.
That's huge.
But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful lake house. It's a home away from home.
Yeah.
And it's got a lake. It's got love in it. It's got everything you need.
Hell yeah,
it's got a golf course, so it's got everything I need.
Yeah, beautiful.
I shot a 72 on my birthday weekend, so.
Damn, bro.
I don't
We could talk a whole podcast about how you got to shooting 72s.
We could talk about that. It wasn't easy.
You've been playing a while?
No, I started playing when I got cut from a baseball team.
Oh, that sounds like the best thing that ever happened. You know?
It wasn't at the time.
Yeah. I've been cut from baseball.
I was a 29 handicap when I was 21 years old.
Yep.
And now I am let's say a 6.
Wow, man. Golf's one of those
things. It took a long time, though. Everyone out there that thinks that, oh, man, I suck at golf, I'll never be a single-digit handicap. Bro, if I did it, you can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Golf's one of those things you can play forever, too, man.
Yeah, you can play forever.
I'm still somewhat in an amateur phase with it.
And you have no idea how many doors have been open for me just because I'm good at golf. I'm golfing.
Relationships.
I'm golfing today. bro. I'm golfing after this breakfast.
Nice, man.
Kinsale Country Club. And no, I'm not a member at a country club.
What country club?
I don't have that money. Kinsale Country Club.
Kinsale. Shout out Kinsale.
Shout out Kinsale.
Kinsale CC. What are you going to shoot today?
Probably low. I'm with bad players.
Is that helps you shoot better?
No, what helps me shoot really well is...
When you say low, are you saying shoot well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a low score. Low's better.
So why do you think you're going to shoot low?
Because I'm going to have a fun time.
Let's go.
If you surround yourself with the right people, you'll always have a fun time.
I love it, man.
Doesn't matter where you are. The group that I'm going with, you know what? Shout out Ray Black, because Ray Black. He lets me golf with him for free, and he doesn't ask for a thing in return. But now what I do is I give him bottles of wine whenever I see him to say thank you for letting me golf for free.
Paying him forward.
So, Ray Black, if you're listening, I appreciate you, brother.
Beautiful, man. Ray's my father-in-law's name. Good name. Shout out all the Rays out
Ray's
there.
also my grandpa's name.
Oh, wow.
R.I.P. Ray McCurry, man.
R.I.P. Ray, man. I'm sure.
He's the one who's taught me everything, almost everything I know.
So
him and my dad.
Undoubtedly has had an impact
on
you. That's beautiful, man. Speaking of Rays, I'm surprised how toasty I got in that hoodie. Like, the forecast can be deceiving. You see 50-something degrees, and you're like, oh, it's kind of cold. It's like, man, I'm roasting out here. This is beautiful.
Right.
We caught a beautiful day. So the podcast gods were looking out for us today. I know you only kind of have
I call it the golf gods.
The golf gods, yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, Kevin, I do love you. I love this podcast.
Yeah.
But if it was between you and golf, I would have chose golf.
Hey, man. You know, that is, no offense taken on that. I'd love
free country club golf.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in a spa later. I'm going to get a massage, too.
Look at that.
And I'm going to pay $0 for it.
Let's go, man. Self-care. I love a good massage.
That's right.
I catch a massage every so often as needed. But, well, man, I mean, is there anything else that you want to kind of say to kind of wrap things up? Or, I guess, if there's something to just kind of leave people with. We could maybe just generalize this to say that anybody who feels like they're going through something or they know someone who's going through something, like where do you start, and how do you maybe bring down the walls and reduce the size of this monster that you feel like you have in front of you? How can we make this easy to sort of start helping ourselves and others? How can it be easy?
Yeah, the way to make it easy is I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it. I'm really sorry if this is repetitive, but
you're not supposed to apologize.
You got to love yourself. Got to love yourself. How do you expect to do anything when you hate yourself? How do you expect to drive a car, breathe, eat food when you hate what you are? You can't. That's why people stop eating. That's why people stop driving. That's why people stop doing things that they love to do, too. And it makes no sense to me because all they have to do, it does make sense to me because I was one of those people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have to fight every day to make sure I love myself. But the thing is, now that I do love myself, I'm kicking my previous self. I'm kicking them.
Let's go.
So, if I had one message for you out there, it was when you look in the mirror, and even if you don't do it the first time, it's fine. If you don't do it the second time, it's fine. But just tell yourself what you're thinking. And at the end of that, tell yourself, you know, I'm going to try to love you. And then eventually try will turn into I love you. Because you're trying. And yourself will realize that you're trying. And if you're trying, if you ain't trying, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you are trying, and you're trying to better yourself, and you're trying to help others, and you're trying to get your mental health together, you want to make a little bit of money, you want to have a beautiful wife or a beautiful husband or whoever you're into, doesn't matter. Whatever you're trying to do, if I could leave you with one message, this is it. Love yourself.
Beautiful, man. Honestly, couldn't have put that better. It makes so much sense, and it's applicable to just about anyone in any sort
it's even applicable for animals, dude.
There we go.
Now, you think dogs have problems? They don't. They're the happiest things in the world.
Well, Cole, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man. You are you're just like an awesome example of someone who's gone through something super challenging, and especially something that, because it started so young for you, you sort of, even you sort of feel like it's something that has just, it's been with you your whole life. And just to hear your story and to hear how far you've come, and the fact that you are now paying it forward, and you are giving back, and you are potentially setting the foundation for other people to elevate out of whatever they're going through. I mean, what's more valuable than that? When you go through something, when you go through experiences that are
getting you where you want to go.
Yeah, as challenging as maybe what you've gone through, to now just the wave you're on and the path you're on, man. I hope nothing more than for this, for the startup, the nonprofit, I should say, to continue thriving. Again, we'll link in the notes here to where, if you want to donate to an amazing cause, mental health awareness, I'll drop that here for you guys to do that.
And if you're
people helping people.
And if you're an investor and you want to help people, call me.
There we go. Yeah, we'll link you to Cole's contact, a way you can reach out to him as well. So, Cole, man, this has been amazing. We got to do it again. I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
We're just scratching the surface. We can talk about other things other than mental health and ourselves, I guess.
Absolutely, man. A super quality dude right here, Cole McCurry. Appreciate.
Oh, that was a good dab.
It was. I mean, the chemistry's there, bro. Appreciate you coming on the Kevin Lunsford podcast, and we'll catch you next time. Till then, love yourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Love yourself.
Peace. Bye.